Draft day is finally here, Chiefs Kingdom, and I have my best case scenario draft for the Chiefs for you today. I'm Gary McKenzie, your host here at RGR Football. Welcome to another episode of the best Chiefs content on YouTube. I promise you I am not biased in the least. In today's video, I just want to talk about my ideal draft for the Chiefs. As you know, today starts day one of the NFL draft, and the Chiefs are picking number 31 overall. That number one spot for the Chiefs is intriguing to me for a number of reasons. But the number one reason is the offensive tackle position and who will be available there. So if I had my way, my number one pick for the Chiefs at that first round position would be an offensive tackle. But which one? And which one do I think it's going to be? So there are two offensive tackles I think could potentially be there that the Chiefs would be interested in. The first would be Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. The second would be Josh Connerly Jr. out of Oregon. Both similarly sized, around 6'5", 310, 315. But they are slightly different on tape. I think that the folks who are really tape heavy are going to like Josh Simmons much more than Josh Connerly. I think that I agree with that take. I think Josh Simmons' tape is better. There's a couple problems with Josh Simmons, though. One is his injury history. He is coming off of a knee injury where he had a torn patellar tendon. And usually players can come back from this, but it might take a little longer than they expect. And so you have a bit of this risk associated with Josh Simmons, and you don't have that same risk with Josh Connerly, mostly healthy throughout his collegiate career. So while Josh Simmons, according to the folks who watch tape, is a better player than Josh Connerly, there's a chance that Simmons drops to the Chiefs at 31. If Simmons drops to the Chiefs at 31, he is my 1A for the Chiefs. If Connerly drops, he is my 1C. There is one player I would like to see the Chiefs take more than Josh Connerly, and it is not an offensive tackle, it is a running back. I do not think that Omarion Hampton will fall to 31, but if he does, and Josh Simmons is off the board, I want the Chiefs to take Omarion Hampton as the first round pick. Going back to the well, picking a running back at number one again, and this time things will pan out differently than they did with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I fell in love with Hampton's tape. I think whoever picks up Hampton in this draft will not regret it. He will be a very good player for their team right out of the gate. So that's where I stand. 1A, Josh Simmons. 1B, Omarion Hampton. 1C, Josh Connerly. Now, the most likely pick that the Chiefs will end up out of all of those is Josh Connerly. If I was a betting man and I had to put money on which player I think the Chiefs will take in the first round, it would be Connerly. So, while I have other options I like more, I think Connerly is the most likely pick for the Chiefs. But I am wearing my lucky Trent McDuffie jersey. So maybe that counts for something, and maybe the Chiefs have something fall in their lap that they would not have otherwise gotten. So I'm rooting for Josh Simmons or Omarion Hampton, but I think the Chiefs are going to take Josh Connerly at number one. Number two, the 63rd overall pick, I want the Chiefs to take a pass rusher, and I want them to take Jared Ivey out of Ole Miss. 6'6", 274 pounds, very explosive. I think his draft stock is very undervalued right now. And in my opinion, Jared Ivey could be a starting caliber pass rusher in the NFL if he gets time to develop. He has all the physical traits, very strong. He looks good on tape. And that's why I want the Chiefs to take in the second round. In the third round, the Chiefs have two picks. The first one coming from Tennessee in that trade of L'Jarius Sneed, and the second one is their third-round pick they would have had otherwise. I want the Chiefs to turn their attention to interior defensive line with this first third round pick at number 66 overall. This is the pick they got from the L'Jarius Sneed trade. I want the Chiefs to make good on this trade. I want them to make good on this draft pick. There's two players I'm interested in here. Both of them interior defensive linemen from Texas. Number 3A or 3-1, 3A, whatever you want to call it. The first guy I want the Chiefs to take, if he's there, is Alfred Collins. Defensive tackle, 6'6", 332 pounds, monster of a man, kind of a dancing bear. The one knock against him, in my opinion, is that he is a fifth-round senior or a fifth-year senior. So he took a little longer to get out of college. He's a monster, huge gentleman, and he is great at run stuffing. So think Mike Pennell, but with a little more pass rush capability. The second player I would be interested in the Chiefs taking, interior defensive lineman, is Vernon Broughton. Defensive tackle, 6'5", 311, from Texas again. Both of these guys are from Texas. The difference between Broughton and Collins is that Broughton, he has a little bit more of a pass rush skill set, and he has better hand fighting, and he's quicker. He's 20 pounds lighter, so he's 20 pounds quicker. I like both of these guys' tape, although I like Collins is better, and I think Collins fills that Pennell role very nicely eventually for the Chiefs. But if the Chiefs are looking for an interior pass rusher who they can pair up with Chris Jones, I think Broughton can cause some problems. And he didn't start playing football until he was in high school, like a sophomore or junior in high school. And even then, when he came into college, he was very inexperienced. So the Chiefs would be getting a player who maybe has not even learned the game quite to the level of the competition he was playing at that point in time. I think that helps Broughton's stock, and so I would not be surprised if the Chiefs took either of these guys with that third-round pick. Moving on to the Chiefs' second third-round pick at number 95 overall, I'm hoping he falls to the Chiefs because I really like this tape, and that's Terrence Ferguson, tight end out of Oregon. Really liked what he put on tape. Super athletic, was the fastest tight end in the draft. Thought he had good body control, good hands. He was a pass catcher for Oregon. He caught passes from Bo Nix, so he's seen a pro-style quarterback. And I think that Terrence Ferguson would be a really good pick for the Chiefs to have someone try to come in and maybe give Travis Kelce a little bit of a break. Now, Jared Wiley, he's still on the books for the Chiefs, and he has the potential to do some damage next year. But I think the jury is still out on Jared Wiley, and I also think Terrence Ferguson is just better than Jared Wiley. So that's who I want the Chiefs to take at pick 3, their second third-round pick at 95 overall. Moving over to number 133 overall, and this is where I have a player that falls quite a bit to the Chiefs because they have fumble problems. They fumbled the ball 8 times in college. And typically the Chiefs don't take a player like this, but they're going to take them because they're the fastest running back in the draft. And this is Bashal Tutin out of Virginia Tech, 5'9", 206 pounds, very fast, very physical for his size, not afraid of contact. And I think his fumbles could be coached out of him if the staff asks him to not maybe try to sacrifice himself every single play. Instead, take the hit, get down, keep turning those legs, but don't be jumping over 2 or 3 guys at a time or diving face first with the ball extended on every play. So I am rooting for Tutin for the Chiefs to pick him up. Not only will they get the fastest running back in the draft in 2025, but they'll also get one with the funniest name, if you have a third-grade sense of humor like I do. Moving on to the 7th round, the Chiefs have 3 7th-round picks. Number 226, 251, and 257 overall. And honestly speaking, I have no preference who the Chiefs take here. It's a crapshoot whenever you're drafting 7th-round players. How about the Chiefs take 1 wide receiver and 2 defensive backs or 3 defensive backs? They seem to have good luck with these late-round defensive backs. So I would be okay with them taking multiple defensive backs in these last 3 picks that they have. And, what the heck, why not? With their 7th-round pick, if they take 1 wide receiver, take a flyer on a guy like Theo Weiss Jr. because I'm a Mizzou alumni. I teach there, so of course I want to see Mizzou players on my favorite team. But that's my ideal draft. First round, Josh Simmons, if he's there. Omarion Hampton, if Josh Simmons is gone and Hampton's there. And then Josh Connerly, if both of them are gone. And I also think Josh Connerly is the most likely option for their first round pick on Thursday night. Second round, Jared Ivey, edge. Third round, defensive tackle, Alfred Collins or Vernon Broughton out of Texas. Third round, again, Terrence Ferguson, tight end. Fourth round, running back, Bashal Tutin out of Virginia Tech. Seventh round, a couple D-backs and a wide receiver. So I have the Chiefs taking an offensive tackle, a pass rusher, a defensive tackle, a tight end, a running back, 2 defensive backs, and 1 wide receiver. I think that would be a good assessment or a good haul for what the Chiefs need on this roster. I think each of these players brings interesting things to the table and could have a potential to be pretty darn good in the NFL. So those are my picks. Now's your chance in the comments to tell me what I got wrong. Who out of those picks do you not like? Do you think there's no way Terrence Ferguson is there at 95? I think there's a good chance he won't be there. They might have to trade up to get him, a few spots to get him at 95 or with their second, third round pick. So let me know down in the comments what you think. And I also want to reminisce a little bit for just a moment. Who here remembers exactly what they were doing the moment Patrick Mahomes was drafted? I know I do. It is a moment that has been imprinted on my brain for my entire life. At that point in time, I was riding for Arrowhead Pride, and myself and Seth Kaiser had been pounding the table for Mahomes. Seth doing it much more than I was, but I was also pounding the table because I saw his tape and I was like, holy crap, this guy's the funnest player I've ever seen play. Sure enough, the Chiefs trade up to that number 10 spot, and there was this conversation around the Chiefs taking either Deshaun Watson, and most likely they thought it was Deshaun Watson, and I was sitting there just white-knuckling it, hoping the Chiefs took Mahomes. And when the name was called, and they called Patrick Mahomes' name, I was jumping up and down with joy in my living room. It is the most memorable draft moment for me of my entire life. Could the Chiefs have a memorable moment again in 2025? Only time will tell. Let's wait it out tonight, but hopefully the Chiefs pick wisely. Hopefully they choose wisely, and let me know what you are doing and how excited you were when the Chiefs drafted Mahomes 8 years ago. But that's it for this video. Let's have fun with the draft. Hopefully the Chiefs get some good talent on the team. Y'all take care. This is Gary signing out. Go Chiefs.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.